and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming. Some of you know on Twitter the Gaming Dragon. Some of you know me on Twitter the Gaming. I always need to mess that up. As some of you know me on Twitter the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Adastra. So y'all, I'm now an affiliate of Green Man Gaming. What that means is that there's going to be a little link in the description at the bottom of each video. You just click that link. You guys get awesome discounts on all the latest and greatest games, and I get commission for whatever y'all buy using that link. So anyway, y'all, let's jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you're up. Let's go. All right. The angle is high and the scene is a bit distant, probably from the palace, but I can make everyone out clearly. Cassius strips and hurries down the steps to the amphitheater, and I want to look away, but don't as Cato turns on Amicus and punches him in the face. Virginia's reaction is small but noticeable, clearly surprised by Cato's brutality. What follows is the awkward staged posing in the pen, and the footage of me using the Nervo on Cassius. This is followed by Amicus tearing off Cato's visor. After that, I run off screen, and I get to watch his drones descend on Amicus, and he suddenly goes limp as they, I assume, stun him. Virginia watches all this with an open mouth until Amicus is escorted away and Cato is picked up by a small ship that lands in the middle of the amphitheater. She then shakes her head. Males. Virginia sighs out in frustration as the screen fades. So you got the footage? I filed it away to a domain accessible by both me and Neferu. We'll figure out a way to use it delicately. And the investigation into the crash? This is something that I brought up to Virginia and Neferu before we came here, even though both seemed skeptical that it could be useful in any way. That even Cato wouldn't be so devious as to kill his own friend, a friend that happened to be the Emperor. Even now, Virginia sighs as if it's an annoying inconvenience, but focuses for a moment until she seems satisfied. Done. All documents related to the investigation are now in the same location. We'll go over it later. Well, at least you and Neferu can. There's a momentary pause. Well, that was easy. What did you expect? Parental tech makes everything fast and easy. Yeah, I suppose. So, are you ready to use it? I think so. Virginia smiles at me. Don't worry, it's easy. Simply keep your mind clear of anything except your objective. Your profile and how it should be wiped clean from the archive. My profile? I try to think up how I should imagine a profile, but Virginia stops me. You're already thinking too much. Just this, your profile. Wipe it from the archives. I swallow hard, but allow Virginia to gently push me forward until one of the tendrils touches my head. It's a cool feeling at first, and suddenly my body seizes up involuntarily as it feels like my entire brain twitches. Keep focused on your objective. My profile. Gone. My profile. Erase it. My profile. Delete from the archives. Oh. Then blackout. A dagger. Screams. Pain. Blood. Hissing breath. Spurting red. Absolute anguish. Kyllian, no! Please, don't leave me here! Please come back to me! You can't leave me to be alone like this! Amicus screams right into my ear. I've never heard him sound like this before. It's horrible, and I know I need to comfort him, to tell him that I'm not leaving, but my voice is gone and air hisses from my throat. No, please speak to me! Amicus's voice rises in pitch, panicking, becoming desperate. Then it all stops. You can prevent this. But only if you submit yourself to the benevolent will of the parents. Will you? Oh. This seems like a big turning point. Y'all, this seems like a save point. Yep. Like a big old save point. Let's, oh man. I'll say, will you? Yes. I gasp and pull back, head reeling. I feel soft but strong paws grip me around the shoulders. Are you alright? I look around, wide-eyed, feeling almost sick as that weird feeling of control in my brain suddenly leaves. I don't know what to say, and Virginia glances back at the sphere. Might not be suited to a simian brain. Calm? Yes, Virginia. Locate Kyllian's profile. There is no such profile archived. Well, you did it at least. Let's get you back to Neferu's room. We walk through the halls, Virginia having to help because of my unsteady feet. I'm stunned, feeling as if I'd just come up from another drug trip. But it's not what I felt, or even the visions of violence that had me shaken up. It's Amicus's screams of despair that linger in my head. I have to see him as soon as possible. I have to make sure he's alright. Oh. Poor guy, sorry, throat's a little dry, y'all. You smell so good. Amicus has me pinned to the floor on the little blanket that I brought with me. He's smothering me with his big body, grinding down against me as he licks and nips at my neck. I haven't even been here more than a minute. Wait, what if Com sees? I gasp around and looks at Amicus, responding by holding my head in his giant paws, keeping me steady as he starts to push his hips against me, his thighs forcing my legs upward. I'm gonna have some water, y'all. Oh yeah, that did it. I'm back. Okay. Amicus mumbles into my throat. Then let him watch. Com isn't watching, as far as I know. Somehow I've been able to convince Aunt Cassius to give us more privacy. Actually, I think I just grossed him out when I'd asked, wrinkling his nose as he instructed Com to keep the drone at the top of the ladder this time. At that moment, I feel the wolf's hard length pressing at my ass, and even though I'm in my underwear and robes, I pull back. Whoa, not now, Amicus! Amicus goes on nuzzling me, moving to my face and locking lips with me for several seconds while he continues to push his hips against me. He finally pulls back a little. I know, I'm just playing around a little. I've been down here too long. I love you, everything about you. Clearly. That's all I'm able to say before he starts to kiss me again, licking and sucking, and I'm at least glad that it tastes like they're providing him with that mouthwash stuff down here. I've never seen Amicus so horny before, which is saying something, his paws gripping and stroking at me almost desperately as his muzzle kisses every inch of my neck and face. He pushes his body down against mine, his considerable chest and belly crushing me flat against the ground. When his muzzle starts dipping down lower, snuffling against my chest and under my robes, I decide that I've had enough. I reach around to grab his upraised rear, getting a handful of thick, furry ass as my fingers squeeze dangerously close to the spot under his tail. Predictably, Amicus gasps in surprise and pulls back, quickly sitting up so that his rear is safely pressed against the blanket, and I have room to finally sit up myself. What was that for? For not letting me catch my breath, and I know you don't like things near your butt. Well, emperors shouldn't have things near their butt. Roll my eyes into silly but understandable insecurity, and crawl up to Amicus to sit in his lap, both eagerly pulling me in. I love you. I love you too. Amicus rubs his paws up and down my arms and shoulders, still just feeling me out. I can't wait to get out of here. No more hiding when I'm emperor. I'm going to show you the real Adastra. Being stuck behind these walls is not how the emperor's beautiful lover should be treated. I touch back, pressing my hands over his paws and resting my head against his chest, listening to the rumble of his voice. Oh, and what's the real Adastra? Amicus pulls his paw away for just a moment to wave it dismissively before returning it to press against my chest. These politics. It doesn't represent the moon's true face. I need to take you to the other cities and landscapes. The people are vastly different, too, from region to region. I listened to him contentedly for a few minutes, happy to just hear him speak again, reminded of how easy it is for us to just talk to each other. And we actually have time to talk. Cato was in a different city on official business, so Cassius had granted us at least a little more time than the last visit. Amicus rocks back and forth as I pet the fur on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. It's clear that they allow him to bathe down here, but the lack of any perfume leaves only the slight smell of his natural musk. I miss the lavender smell I'm used to. I don't mind the masculine scent he's giving off, especially after our little reunion just now. I want to sit here forever, feeling completely calm and safe for the first time this week. I know it has to end, though. There's so much to tell the wolf, so I pull back, looking up at Amicus's face. Amicus? Yes? I need to talk to you about something. Go on. Amicus leans down, pressing his nose against my hair and inhaling deeply. It's about the parents, I think. I need to talk to you about something they showed me. The snuffling in my hair pauses as Amicus absorbs what I just said. The parents? Yeah. The parents? I sigh, wondering if I'm going to have to just as much trouble convincing Amicus of this as I did with everyone else. I still remember the look Nephru gave me when I told him about the drug trip I had. Amicus seems to sense my frustration and hugs me a little tighter. Hey, I'm just surprised. I believe you. I have no reason not to. He nuzzles my head again. Did they come to you in a dream, or... Sort of. I tell Amicus what happened in the hallway in front of the meditation room. What? I push through his shocked exclamations, going to describe the dreams I've been having as well. What? But why wouldn't you tell me this? I shrug against his body. I forgot about them as soon as I woke up. I didn't remember until after what happened with Cassius. Well... I feel Amicus's chest puff up with pride. Sounds like I really am meant to be emperor, eh? That's really what they said, but you know what else this means? The monitors know I'm here. They're okay with it, so I guess it's not really even illegal, right? There's a pause. I mean, it may have just been a dream. But it's nice to hear nevertheless. Also, stay away from that room. Well, I find it funny that Cassius is using Zombie to make contact. I'd rather you not use it. Amicus kisses the top of my head, and I let out a sigh of exasperation. I didn't do it on purpose, and you said you believed me. Amicus lets out a chuckle that rumbles through his torso and into my back. It's a comforting feeling, and despite my annoyance, I find myself pressing deeper against him. I believe that you saw these things, but who can say if it was real? Or who can say if it was real or not? Sometimes I have dreams of entities that I believe are the parents, but I don't necessarily believe it actually is them. I'm quiet for a moment, letting the silence drag out. I know Amicus well enough at this point that he's got his ears pointed up, waiting for me to respond. Trust me, seriously, you don't need to trust me. You need to trust me on this, Amicus. Amicus spends his own moment being quiet, resting his cheek against my head, contemplating. Do you trust me? There's only a short pause. Alright, yes, I do trust you. There's a sense of conviction in his voice, and I can tell that he really is determined to believe me. Thank you, but I only say that because of something else that happened. What was that? I take a deep breath. Amicus, sensing my anxiety, suddenly turns me in his lap to face him, letting me lay my head against his chest as he pats the side of my face. Hey, you can tell me anything, Kyllian. Like I said, I believe you. He says it even more firmly this time, tipping his muzzle down to look at me as I look up at him, meeting his eyes. Alright, so I was in the archives with Virginia yesterday. Amicus's eyes widen. The archives? What were you doing in there? This reminds me that I also need to tell you. This reminds me that I also need to tell Amicus about what I've been plotting this past week. I'll tell you in a bit, but something happened when I was hooked up to the machines. You connected with it? Why would... In a bit. Anyway, while I was hooked up, I had another vision from the parents, Amicus thinks. Well, I suppose that would make sense. Make more sense considering that's the way the Emperor speaks with them. But it's only the Emperor they speak to. Yeah, well, for whatever reason they started talking to me. Actually, you started talking to me. Me? I think so. You were yelling, telling me you didn't want me to leave you. Oh, well, that does sound like something I would say in such a situation. But you sounded really scared and sad, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. My throat hurt and just felt weird. Amicus seems to contemplate all this, but just doesn't say anything more. I start to get frustrated, but I realize that I can't really expect him to offer further information that I don't already know. I guess I hope that he would have more insight into why parents do the things the way they do. But really, I'm on my own figuring this all out. I sigh and lean my head against the wolf's chest. Hey, what's wrong? I'm sure he'll be fine. The parents are very mysterious. My father had several visions he had trouble interpreting. I feel like something bad is going to happen. Really bad, and I don't know what it is that I should do to stop it. Did they give you any guidance at all? They just said to give in to their benevolent will or something like that. Amicus gently pushes me back so that he can look at me directly before he smiles gently. Well, there's your answer. The parents only want what is best for all of us. Just follow their guidance. Keep your mind and heart open to them, and all will turn out as it should. The sentences wouldn't be out of place during a sermon in a church on Earth, and reminded again how these parents really are seen as gods. It's a comforting thought that I could do just as they say and be just fine, made all the more comforting by Amicus's smile and confidence in the matter. There's a nagging feeling in the back of my mind that there's more to the parents than the wolves seem to know. I lower my voice a bit. I don't know if I trust them. Amicus laughs, and that actually does annoy me. Hey, I'm serious. There's something off about all this. I like the way they're going about things. If they want me to do something, then they should tell me instead of just showing me scary visions. Amicus forces himself to stop laughing and clears his throat, trying to look serious. I'm sorry, Kyllian. I just sometimes forget that you are outside the Galaxius, and aren't accustomed to these things. The parents are nothing but benevolence and goodwill. We all feel their guidance in our lives, and if we're not able to speak to them directly like the Emperor. The fact that you are able to do so is an incredible honor. You should be happy, not worried. Amicus strokes my hair. Yeah, but don't you think me being an outsider gives me a different perspective on all this? What if they aren't what they say they are? They are and have no reason not to be. Amicus' voice becomes more firm, and I can tell that he's starting to become uncomfortable with my questions. My advice to you? Listen to them. They will help you, and maybe even figure out a way to get us out of this mess. Besides, it's a great relief to know that you may be here for a reason. I'm starting to think I was meant to find you. Amicus hugs me again. They are multi-dimensional godlike entities. I cannot even begin to comprehend what plans they have for the future. Or how many fucking years they can see ahead of everything. But, yeah, let's see. Okay. Amicus hugs me again. I decide not to press further. I love and trust Amicus, but he's clearly on board with anything to do with the parents. And I doubt I'd be able to make him question that. Not that I really want to anyway. I just worry that I'm being led down a path that I really don't want to go down. Oh, Kyllian. Amicus, clearly sensing my continuing anxiety, pulls me forward to kiss me. I kiss back, and it feels good, even though my stomach continues to churn. 10 minutes remaining, Kyllian. Calm uses his loud voice to call down to us from the top of the ladder. Amicus and I sigh in unified frustration. Want to have a little fun before you go? I look down, and I'm kind of amazed to see that he still has a boner, which makes me wonder how much he'd really been engaged in our conversation. I have to tell you, I catch myself and lower my voice, what we've been doing to get you out. You can do that, and other things at the same time. Amicus tries not to look too eager. I roll my eyes and press my hand against his chest and draw it slowly down the wolf's front, over the curve of his stomach. He immediately moans quietly as I reach the lower part of his abdomen and see the bulge jump in his underwear as his hips even thrust up a bit too. I laugh at his eagerness and have to admit that it's kind of nice to have something more lighthearted to do while I discuss all these troubling issues with my wolf. For the next little while, I walk around the gardens, taking advantage of the mild weather. I've noticed it becomes cooler and less humid over the past week, which is nice. Apparently this is as cold as it gets on this part of Adastra, though. It never snows. I sigh and sit on a bench, thinking back on my meeting with Amicus just an hour ago. It had been easier to say goodbye to the wolf this time, especially now that I know Cassius is willing to let us see each other as much as is possible. That being whenever Cato is out, which is good, because he's gone a lot of the time doing his official business or whatever. Amicus, once again, had recommended I distance myself from the plotting so as to not get caught up if we get exposed. I reassure him, even though I know I'm going to do whatever it takes to see this through, even if that means I'll have to put myself in danger. I don't want Amicus to be down there for another day. Just yesterday, Cassius or Cato banned all talk of Amicus on Adastra, which Neferu told me only caused the rumors to really start flying. Damn. They range from Amicus being imprisoned, true, banished, or even executed. This is good for us, I'm told, because the public, whether they like Amicus or not, generally doesn't feel like he should be struck from existence just because he lost the emperorship. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I have a super thanks. Share tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.